A lot of them will actually say this. They say it on the back, how about another fortune? And go to the secondfortune.com. Then they have the lucky numbers right here. So if you want to play those lucky numbers.
An industry. These are not sorted very well. This is, I kind of put animals right here. You go to zoos a lot, they have them. A lot of these are actually really old antiques. When I visited the Moldomatic warehouse, basically the Florida branch of the mold companies, box of like really old Moldoramas, it was like $50. It was something very reasonable. Yeah, some of these have not been available for a long time. That's from the Eiffel Tower. This is from the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. That has not been there. They have not had Moldoramas in Los Angeles in forever, so really cool. You got the Arch from St. Louis. Up here, these are like Halloween ones. I got this one. This is one of the ones. These are the two from Universal had for Halloween this year. A lot of unusual ones. These are the box over there that I haven't opened yet, so I will open that here in a moment. But they do custom molds. Again, they're like bowling trophies. Some of these are like custom made jobs that they did. Down this video, they don't pay me anything. I just enjoyed doing it, so I signed up. And there's some wrestling belts. This is my friend Ian sent me that when I reached 100,000 subscribers. And this is art here. I have you see some multicolored ones. These are made by Moldville, who it's a person that has taken an old mold machine and converted it and does custom molds. I actually subscribed to get monthly molds from.
Hi, Cole here. Wanted to show you a few things. My comedy section, slight view of my wedding video. I don't know where I got that sunflower. Jack London's anthology, Tales of the North and Stories of Adventure. Actually did graduate from the University of North Texas in 2000. Area code 408. Yes. Hi, Cole here. So I did receive a phone call from the city of San Jose. Now, I did launch out a recent Sprouts application in my area, which I'm in Texas, Carrollton kind of area. And the phone call came from the city of San Jose, California, which is also the area code of Santa Clara, Saratoga, Sunnyvale, portion of Palo Alto. But city of San Jose was what pulled up in my phone. That's the actual, kind of showing it there on my screen there. It's California. So I told him, well, yeah, I applied to Sprouts, but not in the city of San Jose, and I couldn't even make the interview. I'm in Carrollton, Texas. So she was like, I kind of wanted to know how she got my information. She said she found it on some site from her Sprouts website or whatever. I don't know exactly how, but it said it was 100 miles out. This would be 3,000 miles away. But I was getting ready to begin my day, which I'm about to do right now. And that phone call went through. I probably would have taken it if it was down the road. I think I applied to the deli. I guess it was like a national thing. I don't know how it got misembogulated or whatever the word is, how it got scrambled up into the California region. I don't remember filling out a California application or anything or sending it out. I did fill out one that was in this area. So, but it could have just been like for just the website that was representing any opening in Sprouts nationwide, possibly. But right now, like I told her, I probably wouldn't even be able to make the interview. And who knows if it was a done deal, like driving all the way out to San Jose, which is about 3,000 miles to do a Sprouts interview. I don't know. But I do appreciate the call. It's at about 2 minutes there. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the road. Not to San Jose. Just go down the area over this way. Just not too far. So just the other night, I went out to the balcony and heard that. It was, I don't know, like 5 or 6 coyotes out there somewhere in this field. Somewhere in the middle of the night. I don't know if they had cornered a domestic dog or what exactly happened. But it was just the other night, I was sleeping right there, and I got up and looked through here in this window, and I could not see any of the coyotes. And I opened this door right over here. I could hear it, or hear the sound of a pack of coyotes. Very strange sound of them tearing something up. Something out there in the middle of the field. All right, we're going to do a real quick check and we'll be out of here in just a second. This is off right here. I really don't know exactly why I like to post things together. One thing when you start doing this kind of, I guess you can call it filmmaking, is you notice a pattern in other people's work, you know. But it doesn't really make you bad. I mean, you just find, I guess, in a way, the Romans took from the Greeks. And I don't know if they were guilty of anything for really doing that. But I don't know why. I don't know why I like filmmaking. I don't know why I like to put things together and tell stories and things like that. I don't know why I'm kind of obsessed with that. I'm going to show you where the coyotes were. So that's actually the field past the half-staff flags. Right there is where the coyotes were the other night. There's a bunch of coyotes out there just yapping away right next to a church. One thing I do like about doing all this is the possible surprises that come along the way, you know, things that you don't expect to happen. And I think that's kind of what I like the most about this vlogging style, is just you don't know what's ahead of you.
Created by Laurie Anderson. In 1977, Anderson debuted the tape bow violin, which allowed her to create her own performance art. In the 1980s, Anderson modified her electronic drum set, turning her body into an instrument.
I had a Lynn drum machine, and it was broken, and so I took it apart, and I thought, well, what if you sewed it into a suit, you know, and you used the various drum pads spatially?
For today's pioneers, electronic music isn't just music. It's also a tool to break down barriers, says composer.
Oh, Dave. Guess who's back? Yeah.
Looks like we got a new assignment. We're going down to Nick's Pizza. None of the vultures are there today. They usually hang out about right there, many vultures. You can see kind of why they would. It's a trash area of Carrollton right up that way. You'll see coming up here a whole crap load of birds. As you can see right here, that's quite a bit of birds. You can actually hear them. Passing another half-mast flag, trying to figure out why we are at half-mast or half-staffed.
But Michael Kimmel, a distinguished professor emeritus at Stony Brook University, sees something a little different.
A lot of the guys that I watched on January 6th and subsequently in all of the videos that have surfaced, is these guys look familiar to me.
Kimmel wrote a book about angry white men and what drives them to embrace extremism. And he thinks traditional gender roles, the notions of being a man, played a part in the violence at the Capitol. And that doesn't happen. A kind of aggrieved entitlement takes hold. And that's the kind of
way over there, but you can kind of see them. Little horse bin. I don't see Nick's Pizza anywhere over that way. I noticed those horses over that way. Very beautiful creatures, horses. That'd be Nick's Pizza. I got the pizza, and what I noticed is actually it's a face recognition, what they call it on the phone for security reasons. Doesn't work with these things right here. So you gotta use your pass thing. Get in, and I got the pizza.
8 years old. We helped clean rooms. I used to be a lifeguard at our property. We did maintenance. I did lawn care. You name it, I did at front desk, all aspects of the industry.
It's his family's business.
There's always, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different avenues that you can pursue, and you can fill those dreams.
And I noticed about the app that I'm using is it makes the addresses really, really small. And if you don't have a photo of the house, it kills a little bit of time actually looking for the address. And they should make those things a little bit bigger. Yeah, that appears to be the right address, but not the biggest print in the world on that puppy.
As I was, that unlike the first impeachment, which was about Ukraine and...
So I'm basically waiting at Verve Grill and Tavern. Address there is 2221. I think it's Verve. V-E-R. Verve's Grill and Tavern. I believe I'm in the Louisville area.
A whole new level of sad. And it's one that if there is no accountability for, I can't imagine after one police officer is dead, two took their own lives. How in the world is this going to get better without people taking a stand and saying this is wrong?
I read your op-ed in the Washington Post this morning, which was titled, "My Fellow Republicans Convicting Trump is Necessary to Save America." You're pleading in it with others in your party to choose a path away from Trump. And as I read it, I thought, I wonder what kind of conversations he's having with other Republicans.
McClatchy that President Joe Biden would not be required to sign the resolution. Look, they've got it all figured out. They think they have figured out how to get around the Constitution. Now, I and Judge Starr and a few others have figured out how to defend it. It's not that hard. Read it.
Will be evident when it's evident. If this party continues to go down the track of, then certainly I wouldn't be a Republican. But my hope is that as people wake up...
Seems like the radio show, or the radio shows, kind of are on both ends of the spectrum about what's going on right now, Republican or Democrat. And you've got the AM stations, which are very much conservative, and then you've got the mainstream, and they're just really kind of debating on the whole issue. First time ever in our country that a president has been impeached 2 times, and then a former president, well, I guess that's interesting because he's no longer a president. That's a first time. So he's a former president. He's facing impeachment. Just heard some other news that I wasn't going to vlog about, but this guy was on death row for 27 years, and then he caught corona and died. 27 years. A long time to have to wait. And then, he died in the prison hospital. Got something on the seat here. Crusted. Must have been from the hot dog that I had at QT the other night. Kind of doing this kind of thing. Trying to... I don't know if it's mustard or some kind of... maybe a little bit of bread. I cannot see anything at all. Completely foggy going into the moisture, the heat, and that. My sunglasses, you can barely freaking see anything at all. Anyway, I got it. That's First, looks like a really cool place. Kind of a hip place. A lot of people in there laughing, drinking beer, all kinds of stuff. I put as much hand sanitizer as I could on. Kept my mask on. Doubled up. Couldn't see anything because my glasses got so dang foggy. You can kind of see incredibly foggy. They got from the difference between the cold air outside, just like, I don't know, very cold outside, and the warm air inside. Didn't really work out that well when I was trying to, so I just showed them all the information.
people are purposefully jumping the line.
I have heard and seen stories from many people who do not meet eligibility criteria who've been vaccinated.
That's Dr. Jeff Duchin.
Seems like pretty much everybody's talking about getting vaccinated nonstop. And sometimes you'll see signs, you know, where it'll show COVID testing. But I haven't seen really any signs that say vaccination here yet.
Dinosaurs ever produced, and so don't sleep on whales.
Well, that's Ashley Paust of the San Diego Natural History Museum sharing his expertise, and our 8-year-old.
Thank you. Appreciate if you shut the door for me. Do you mind shutting the door, please?
Close it?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day. People are really friendly. They really do honor the fact that we come across quite a few people every day, probably more than the average folk. And there's nothing wrong with leaving the door shut. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. I mean, they'll hear the door knock, and I mean, I could come in and eat the food with you, you know, sit down in the kitchen, but they don't want that, so I don't know why they would want to open the door, but I don't know. Contactless, you have to remind and say, you know, please keep the door shut. And then, you know, move on from there. Obviously, we're not making a right-hand turn on a stoplight, and we're very close to cross timbers. It's actually cross timbers right here. Can't really see that. There we go. Cross the timbers. Now we're, oh, no, he's actually right. There's no turn on red. Never mind. There's a green light. This is actually a really nice restaurant right here, Thai Ruby. It's an Asian restaurant. Really nice inside too. Lots of cool Asian. Yep, thank you. I think it's cool when cold weather's out. You can kind of see the smoke kind of coming out of the car, but I think it's cool that you can see it through another camera. 1950, on August 8th, a man named Mr. Dobson opened the first Whataburger. 70 years ago. So when I pass one, it should be happening anytime soon. It's been around for 70 years. The first restaurant was in Corpus Christi, 1950. The Dobson family still have shares and stakes in Whataburger, also known as Whataburger. 30 years later. What's interesting is these people live right above this actual little area where there's restaurants. There's actually apartments right there. These are all the restaurants.
Access granted. Access granted.
So usually when I place the order in a restaurant, I try to do kind of like a In-N-Out kind of thing. Not In-N-Out Burger. That was actually Kraft's Pizza. I'm just getting another pizza thing right here. I got the pizza bag, but I usually go in and then I go out. So I take time away from being indoors as much as possible. Well, not as much as possible, but when I'm doing the order process. That way I don't have to stand in a line or be around other eaters that are wanting to enjoy themselves in the restaurant or whatever. I usually give them space when I can. And I do that anyway when I go to a restaurant. I try to get a table in the corner where no one's around. I've always been that way. You can ask my second wife. Real weird about restaurants. I don't know why. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use that one. But, I got the order. Man, I cannot see a freaking thing. There's foggy glasses from going in. It's about 33 degrees out, so we're at about 33 degrees right now. Just, I don't know. It's very, very difficult. Because you go into a warm place, and condensation forms immediately. So you walk in, it's like foggy city. So we can get this open right here. All right. There we go. That should be just fine. You know, it's interesting that sometimes you can go into a place and you get this great vibe. It's a great restaurant. Everybody's happy. Everybody's, smiling. Everybody wants you to basically be there. And everything just kind of goes your way, and then you just kind of pick up you can feel it in their heart, you pick up the order and then you leave. And sometimes you go into certain restaurants and it's like everybody's like too good for you. It's like everybody's just too classy for you. Even the people that work there, they're just too good for their own, and you feel that energy. You don't even really have to talk to them to know that this person thinks that they're better than you. And I'm a believer that I really don't think anyone's better than anybody else. I think that's kind of a thing that I don't think that any one person out there is better than another person. I could be wrong, but I really feel that. I mean, with all the things that go just really wrong in this world, that no one person is better than another person. That I'm not saying that we're all the same, but I don't think anyone is more worthy than another. Call me crazy, and whenever I go into a restaurant where the people feel that way, I'm always happy to be there. So I was able to go to accessibility on the phone that I have, and you actually just go to where I believe it says display, and then you just basically increase the font size so that your phone. But how would anybody figure out that would be under accessibility? It just sounds like that's a hard way to find it. But that's how I found it on this Apple product here. A proud flag of McDonald's floating in the air. My ex-mother-in-law's favorite restaurant and favorite place to pick up some coffee. I'm going to see if I can sneak around to the right side and place my order right up this way for my friend.
Trackway, for example. The material when the organism was living was composition of calcium carbonate, or the mineral calcite. But after it gets buried in the sediment and groundwater moves through it, there are various processes that can replace that with a harder, more resistant mineral. Typically, that mineral.
It's time for a blatant observation. I've noticed that McDonald's only puts the number on the order for the food for friends. I don't know why. Most all the other restaurants, even fast food restaurants, they at least have the name, which makes everything easier. I was always taught at a place where I work that people aren't a number. Don't treat people like a number. But obviously they just, for some reason, they just have the number. I don't know why. Looks like we're going to be making a U.
Make a U-turn.
Before she can interrupt me, I was going to say it was a really good movie with Sean Penn and I cannot remember her name. Anyway, Sean Penn's in it. I think even Billy Bob Thornton's in it. But it's called U-Turn. Oliver Stone directed it. So it's really.
In half a mile, turn right onto South Valley.
So I was able to go to accessibilities and increase the fonts on the phone, and it did increase the app that I'm using to deliver the food to friends. The problem is that it didn't on the address, but it did on the other things. So on the other buttons, you can, the font's big, and you're like, wow, I can read that. But on the actual address, it looks even a little bit smaller or something. So you couldn't really see that. I don't know why they would do that, but you kind of have to look at it anyway. Actually looking for Building 8. I came across this right here. Sometimes you'll see during a strike. See some of this kind of things happening here. It did happen a little bit when Corona first got really bad. I remember seeing that a lot in Dallas and certain areas. It just kind of got overfloated there, but overflooded, I guess is a better word. It just got overflow. There was an overflow of that. I'm actually looking for Building 8, and these are when you kind of get in the scary times here. It's a little scary sometimes, but you can kind of see the sky. The sky looks real pretty. Real pretty sky. Pretty sky. And there's Building 7 over to my left as we're passing here in the middle of Louisville, Dallas. That is the building number 7. And we're going to go down this way and see if we can run into that building number 8. That is true and certain about Apple is you do have to press on the screen on the device a little harder than you would on a Samsung. Na 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 na. Ba da 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 da. Ba da 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 da. I was playing GarageBand earlier. That is one trippy thing. If you ever played
Turn right onto Barber Drive, then turn left onto Park Lane Drive.
Yeah, it's really funny though, the GarageBand, the amount of things that thing can do. You could probably get a master's in GarageBand.
Turn left onto Park Lane Drive, then the destination is on your right.
I appreciate that. You probably get like a degree in GarageBand if you wanted to. You know, believe it or not, for a Tuesday, it's been really jumping. The blinker is having me turn right. All right, so if you don't know about my channel, please subscribe. Get my information, description about PayPal in my description. And I do appreciate you tagging along with me tonight. The flag is waving over here as half-mast. We're going to pass it to our left, or half-staffed, if that's the way you like to say it. You'll see the half-staff flag right there. Just wondering if everybody leave a comment, and you can explain why you think we're at half-staff. If you know, let me know. I would really like to know. You know, I've been through a whole lot the last 2 years, and I've been thinking, you know, instead of trying to analyze why everything happened and using all these different names and pointing fingers, I think it's just better just to kind of focus on the things that I do, what I'm going through, just the activities, the actions. Well, that's going to be a wrap. Thanks so much for tagging along with me today. I think I already told you to subscribe. Some exciting things happened. You know, I got through some problems, talked about the phone and things like that. And of course, watched out for the deadly coronavirus that's out there. A lot of my friends got their food that they wanted. And other than that, I guess the